Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Tish, just doing what I do, doing what you do with Miss Tish. This is Cooking with Colors. I am in the kitchen. You see all the steam over here? You know what's going on? Hey, it's time to process these tomatoes. I went to the farmer's market because I didn't have enough. It was just a little bit that I had got enough to store up, freeze up, to be able to process for my tomato sauce. So what I did was I went to a local farmer's market and found some canning tomatoes. They had a big, one of the big containers full up for $10. I got two of those. I'm gonna see how far I go with this process and how many I make. If I need more, I go pick up some more. Most likely, I'll probably pick up two more. My boiling water is boiling already. Water is boiling to go ahead and get the skins off of them, and then I dump them in this ice bath water, and then I'm gonna throw them in my roaster so I can go ahead and process all the tomatoes up. So, hey, join me on today's Cooking with Colors, processing tomatoes to get ready to be canned for tomato sauce. All right. Cut it off. Gotta cut that off. Getting the tomatoes so I can be able to put at least 2, 4, 6 in one. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 5, 6. Ready to take them over, to slit them, and to dump them in the hot water. Going to slit the tops. Wonderful knife I got at a yard sale. Slit the tops, and they're going to go into the boiling water. I'm not going to do one at a time. I'm going to put them all 6 at one time. So, move everything over. And I will take, when I take the skin off, once I don't process this part, the part that I see damaged like this, I will cut that off once I did this part. So, none of the liquid to go into the boiling water. Alright, so now I realized by doing it this method, it's so much easier to take the skins off, and then you have to worry about taking them off while you're processing them in the cooker. Top on, set my timer 1 minute. Slit the rest of them while I'm waiting. Now, the special knife I have gotten is awesome. It is a great knife, and it looked like a tomato. So I think I'm gonna call it my tomato knife for slitting the tops up. So easy, and it's so sharp. These are nice, also. Beautiful. So you have to be very careful. Markers as well. There are a couple of them that started turning because it was on the table for a couple of days now. And it will get in there. So we're going to wait until that. I got 25 more seconds. And once that's done and it beeps, I'll be ready to go forth to the next process. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to go over here and grab some more tomatoes. Right? These are ready over here. I'm going to go ahead, take the top, get something to put it because it's hot. Take a slatted spoon. I'm going to check and make sure and see the skin sliding off. It'll take a minute. Yep. Slide off the top. You can tell when it's breaking apart from the tomato. Set it in this bowl. I use this type of spoon because it takes some excess water off, and put it back in the pot. And I'll be ready for the next one. So dump this in here so I can dump it into the ice water so I can stop the cooking process immediately. Okay? So while is that going, I'm going to go ahead and stop this timer. I'm going to go ahead and dump this. So I get the next batch done. And by the time I've got that in ice water, 5, have 6. Throw the top on it. Set the timer. And I'm going over to this side of the sink now. And I'm going to dump these in here. But I already have some in here. I'm going to take those out because I was peeling and I'll show you that process in just a minute. And the water is still ice cold. I'm going to go ahead and dump these. Slide right in there. Stop the process. I got more ice over here. And it's already ice cold, but put some more in it. And stop that cooking process. So now, while I'm waiting for that, I'm over here. And I'm going to take the skins off of this. So it's a quick process. Because everything goes kind of quickly. So the skin usually just peel right on back. And some of them already done. I'm going to be started. And so what I'm doing, I got this little container over here. I'm not throwing away my skins. I'm going to dehydrate my skins and make it into powder. Timer going off again. 1 minute. So I'm going to show you how I do this. Take my knife. This is a tomato peeling knife. Beautiful knife. I love it. Nice. And pull that up. There you go. Put that over here. Put in here. And I'll cut it up. So I have some already done right here. And I'm going to dump it into my pot over there. Got to do these. Those are processing. I'm going to wipe my hand off and go back over here and take these out the pot. Okay, I done sliced up some of the excuse me, sliced up the tomatoes that I had peeled the skin off, decored them, sliced them up. Now I'm going to show you what I do next. So let's come on over here. So right here is my what is this? Is my roaster. Lost train of thought. And I am putting all the tomatoes in the roaster because they're going to roast up as I do them. So it's already on. And I'm just putting the chopped up tomatoes in the roaster. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do that process all over again. Come on back over here so I can show you. So I'm going to go ahead and first, I'm not going to dump any tomatoes right now. I'm going to go over here and take care of some of these first so I can be able to have room to put some more over here. So I'm going to take these out of the cold water, ice cold water. I'm going to dump this water because it got some of the tomatoes in it. It doesn't matter really, but I'm thinking I want another clean batch of water. And then I'm going to fill this back up. Ice cold water again. And while that is doing that, I'm going to go ahead and slit the skins off of these. And going to repeat the process over again. So, decore. Also, I learned that you can decore the tomatoes and slit them. If you're going to bag the tomatoes up and put them in the freezer, do it later. That'd be a better process also because then you wouldn't have to worry about doing that. Only thing you have to do is take the skin off. And fill the sink up. Put it on cold. Make sure the water gets cold. Ice in there. The rest over here. And I'm going to fill that sink back up so it can be ready for the next batch. So while that's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and keep peeling the skin off of here. And I'm going to dump the next batch of tomatoes in the pot in just a minute because I have to score them. Haven't scored them yet. out here. So like this one when I showed you, had a little damage right here. I'll peel the skin, take the core out, then I'm going to peel that part out. So I'll go ahead and slice this off. And I can go ahead and cut this up in here. Cut these tomatoes into fours. Easy to throw it inside of. I think that's enough water. Cut that off. As you can see, doing this is a tedious process of pulling the skin off the tomato and decoring it, but it's a must-needed process. You wouldn't have to do all that as you cooking it and the skin pulling off. You have to pull it off in your sauce because you don't want all that skin and stuff in that process. I mean, as you process your tomatoes. Another thing, the skins that I save, I am going to dehydrate it and make it into powder. It helps thicken your sauce and also use it for substitution of things when you're cooking. So it's a good thing that you can utilize every part of your tomato. Oh, yes. I also had 3 bags of tomatoes that I had got from my garden, and I had bagged them up and frozen. And I also skinned those and decor those and put them inside of the container as well in a uh, pot to be processed. Now, remember, like I said, it's a repeat process. Continue to score the tomatoes, put it in the boiling hot water for a minute, take them out, put them in the ice bath for to stop the cooking process, de-skin them and decore them, and then throw them and cut them and chop them, put them inside of the roaster to be processed. Continuing process until all of my tomatoes are done. And that's what I'll continue to do. I just want to share this a little bit with you. It's an enjoyment of mine to be able to process these tomatoes and have my own tomato sauce. Now, see, I would know what's in my tomato sauce because I'm putting the things in it. The processed tomato sauce that we get out the store, we don't know what everything they put in. Someone else has made it. They shipped it to a place, they stored up for months, and then they put it on our shelf. And then finally, we get the item that's been sitting and sitting and been in things that help it to keep its shelf life. But we, as homesteaders and gardeners and those who like to canners and all those, we like to, it's a pleasure to be able to know what's in your food, what you have put in it. You know what you put in it, and you know what's there, and you know what's going into your body. So this is something dear to me. I love to do. When I learned how to do this last year, I said I have to do it every year to have my tomato sauce in. As the year go on, I noticed that I increase how many jars I have. So as I get more familiar with doing this, I want to continue to make my own sauces, maybe some salsa, and even get into making my own ketchup and everything, even hot sauce. So it's a lot of different things that I'm going to be doing in the years to come. But this is the beginning process. And last year, tomato sauce, I used it all up, and I just used all my jars up at the beginning or the middle of summer. So I was able to do more jars this time than I did last time. So next year I'll increase year by year to be able to have enough for shelf life to store up for when I'm needing to use it for different recipes. So this is a pleasure for me to be able to do. And as you can see, I found one that was very bad, and I had to discard that one totally. I could not put it in the water because that would just destroy the water with all the juices from the tomatoes that will go into that water. But yeah, I think I came to the end of my tomatoes. Another thing I learned, you can't be slow-footed when it comes to when that buzzer goes off. Don't let it go another minute or two. You will have tomato busting open in the water. So make sure that you hit that timer, take them out on time, and throw them in that ice bath to stop the cooking process. You don't want to have a whole lot of mess in the water and have to change water out. You want to add water in it so it can get so you can have enough to boil. That is the process of how I start processing my tomatoes. I didn't want to keep on bringing you videos on this video, scenes of me doing the same thing over and over again. Now I did come across one of my tomatoes that was bruised, and it had opened up and all it had steamed out. It was just the skin and the juice and the tomato had came out. So what I'm going to do, instead of slipping the skin is already half off, I'll pull the rest of it off and just throw it in a pot instead of doing this process. Anything that have bruised on it, I will cut it off. Once I have put it in the ice water and start peeling the skin off, I will peel that, cut those parts off, since what I have showed you before. And they were roasting that roaster for a good while. It has to cook down. I'll show you, take you on some more scenes of that. So, but this process is a repetition until all the tomatoes are done, and then I will have it start cooking in the roaster for until the tomatoes are cooked down, and then I will show you what I do next with my hand blender. To sauce it, to get it down into the sauce and allow it to cook. So when that process come in, I will bring you back in to let you see that and the canning. So be blessed, and I'll see you in just a couple minutes. It's been some hours, a few hours, and my tomato sauce is still soupy. So we got a lot of cooking down time to go. I did use my Merge blender, to chop up some of the big chunks of tomatoes. You gotta be careful with that because it shoots out. See what it is there, right? And then shoot and stuff like that. I've been using this to take some of the big chunks and to cook it down, which it looks wonderful, but it's still too thin. So I need this to cook down a lot more. So it'll probably be cooking overnight. I probably won't be able to do anything with this until tomorrow, but my jars are ready. I do have to get some more wide mouth lids. Only got a half of, I used 5 of them, so I probably got 10, maybe 9 or 8 left, something like that, I can't remember. And so I'm gonna have to let this cook down more and more so I can get it thickened. So one thing I do have to thicken this up is some dried tomato skin that I dehydrated last year, and I will be putting this in here to thicken this up and concentrate it. Let me see. Yep. This is the tomato skin. One thing you can do, I can put it as powder to help thicken it as well, and I might do that. So I can see if that can work when I do it this way. Yeah, I'll probably just go ahead and grind it up so it won't be so, leaving so much flakes and stuff in here. So I will grind this up and I will put this inside of here to help thicken the sauce on. I have it on approximately 250, so it cooks slowly. And I'm gonna go and I see that I splashed some sauce on my tablecloth over there. But what I'm going to do is clean up this part right here. I'm gonna put the thickener in here, and before I go finish this up and turn it down tonight, probably on 150 to let it just simmer. Probably get up in the night and just stir it, but I need it to cook down. Nice sauce, but it's too soupy, very soupy, so I have to thicken it up. If you get to the point where this is not enough to thicken it up, I will go get some tomato paste to add to it. I didn't want to do that, but if I have to, I will. All right, so this will conclude this part of the video until maybe tomorrow. I did do a couple jars of some tomatoes. I did do some stewed tomatoes over here. I'm gonna bring you one so I can say, and I already processed them. Which I noticed that one thing I did, I didn't push it down far enough, and all the liquid is down here. And this is my stewed tomatoes. If I pushed it down more and put more tomatoes in it, it wouldn't have this much liquid prior to it. So it's time for it to sit for 24 hours. And then I'll be able to take the lids off and store those stewed tomatoes. I didn't add any seasoning to it other than the lemon juice and salt. And I will be seasoning as I use it. So, talk to you soon. Well, as you can see, it's the next day. I did not leave my tomato pasta, my tomato sauce on all night. I did get up and I cut it off, and then I started back up. When I got up in the morning, it has thickened up quite much, I mean a whole lot, and cooked down tremendously. I did grind up the tomato skins that I had from last year and put that in as a powder. I didn't have to put any paste in there because that worked out wonderfully as I allowed it to cook and allowed the tomato sauce to thicken. I didn't add, I think I add a little bit of herbs in it. Some, what did I have? Oregano, an Italian blend that I made from my garden herbs. Just a little bit, not as much, because I only put lemon juice and salt. Oh, and some salt. I think a little bit of salt in there. But I did put some lemon juice, I believe, in the sauce. In the sauce jar, I believe I did that. I couldn't remember for sure that I did that or not. But I added those in it for the canning process of it. As you see now, I am canning my, yes, see, I did add the lemon juice. I know I did. I just had to remember, and the salt. But also, I just want to, as you can see, that I am canning my tomato sauce now in the warm jars, because I did use the jars. I put those jars in the heated oven and to warm them up, because you have to, if you have hot, anything hot, liquid, or anything you put in the jars, your jars have to be warmed as well. If you're using hot jars, hot water, hot liquid. You can't put liquid, whatever you put in your jars, in a cold jar, because it causes it to burst. So, just like old wine and new wines, yeah, old wine and new wine skin, or yes. So it's just like that process. So I put a tablespoon, I think, yeah, a tablespoon of lemon juice in each jar, and a tablespoon of salt in each jar. I think that was a half a tablespoon, or yeah, and I used two of those. So then I added my liquid, my tomato sauce in the jars. I'm doing a voiceover today because my husband is home, and he's relaxing, watching the television. So I wanted to make sure I'm able to record and tell you what's going on, and you won't hear all the sounds of the television. The jar is very hot. I'm trying to figure out what the best method for me to do this without making a whole lot of mess. So, because this is on my kitchen cart, and the jars is over there on the counter. So I notice if I hold it by the lid, the lip of the jar, it's not hot up there, and I can be able to put it into the funnel with my spoon here to fill it up an inch head space to the rim of the jar. That's why I fill it up at, and move it over and do the same process again. And at the end of that, I go ahead and debubble it, and also clean the top of the rim of my jars with lemon juice. Some people don't do that. Some people just use water on the rag and everything. I use lemon juice, not lemon juice, vinegar. I'm sorry, vinegar, to sterilize and make sure it's no sauce or anything on it to stop, well, cause it not to seal, because you want to make sure you have a clean rim when you put the lids on the jars, so they can seal properly in the canner, the water bath canner. Now, a lot of people have been skeptic, been kind of nervous about doing canning. I was at first too, especially with the pressure canner. But I had to get over that fear, get over that, because it's something I really wanted to do. So I had to get over that, and to really go forth and do what I'm called to do, to make sure I have things prepared for my family. So this, I will continue to do this and see how many jars I get from this. I think I end up getting 10 jars of quart-sized tomato sauce jars, and that was great. Cause last year I did not get 10 jars. I think I got maybe short of 10, maybe 8 or 5, 6. I can't remember. But 10 was more than I got last year, what I did. And I used all my tomatoes last year. This year I didn't have as much, but I did use what I had and got more from the farmer's market. So I was still able to store at least 10 jars. And using when I'm making spaghetti, I use 2 of those jars for a batch of spaghetti, because I make a lot. So like I said, next time, so I learn how to make ketchup, more sauce, salsa, and hot sauce. Those are the 3 things I want to learn how to make next with those things, and maybe some meal in a jar type things as well. So I'm going to continue to do this and work on this process of canning up my tomato sauce. Now what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to go ahead and start putting these jars into the canner. So I'm going to get some vinegar on a clean paper towel and wipe the rims of my jars so I can put the clean lids on and the rims. It's very important, like I said, to do that so you can have a great seal on your jars. Now, only fingertip tight, not do not crank down on it, fingertip tight. Then I use my grabber to put it into the water bath canner. As I clean each jar and put them down in there, I will not start the timer or anything until I get them all in it and the water come to a complete boil. It has to come to a boil to start the timing process. So I'm setting them down in there, cleaning out each jar. I got 4 already. That canner does hold 5, 6, I think 7 or 6 each one. It looked like I'm cranking down on it, but I'm not. Just fingertip tight. That's all I did towards that. Because if you crank, you be doing a couple turns. Also, so I'm going to put these 4 in there, and then I'm going to get the last, I think, couple more after this, and then I'll be ready to start the first batch of the tomato sauce process.